apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You tune in to Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect today. I got the Godfather Vern. You look like you chilling, about to make some heavy decisions on who gets to live and die next week. So what's going on with you, good brother?
Hey man, I'm just happy to be here, man. I had to switch rooms because I got to see my boy Sharif Cooper and Jalen Johnson get busy. So yeah, that's why the background's different. I got the love and happiness pick in my sitting room.
I feel you. Yo, bro, I'm just blown that you have a sitting room. That's a beautiful thing. That there's a room in your house where you just sit. That's a beautiful thing. Out of Philly, my brother Rel. What's good with that Randall Cunningham green on? What's good, brother?
Yeah. What's good? Chilling in the new crib, about to watch Tyrese Maxey go to work on the Hawks. Happy to be here as always.
No doubt. Ev, my brother, Writer's Branch, everything. What's going on, good brother?
I'm good, brother. I got no complaints. Everything is peace, bro.
All right, no doubt. Vegas, Will Maddock, in these streets now. What's going on, good brother? There you go.
By 4016, Vernon Bully, my building. Yeah, what's good?
What's going on?
Yo, shout out to all the brothers on here, too. I didn't say hello when I got them.
Oh, yeah, me either. Peace.
Oh, good. What's up, Veg? What's up, Ev?
And Tone, end of the dome. What's good, baby?
Everything's good, man. Good to see y'all brothers, man. Hope everyone is good, healthy, and all that.
Yes, sir.
Man, everything is good, bro. Me and Tone was just chopping it up, man, about just the amount of people really love Big L, man, and I had no idea. Like, I just had no idea. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I just didn't know that many people love Big L. But, y'all know me. Let's get right into it. So, this week, we're chopping it up about the MC Olympics. Now, all this stuff started from the whole RJ Payne, Lupe, Ransom, Mickey Fats, Royce conversation when they were all on the line, and RJ Payne was like, me and Ransom the best, and everybody felt some kind of way, and you got these MCs in this room, and Ransom just I'm the best, I don't give a fuck, I'm the best. And then Lupe kind of starts talking about, well, how do we figure that out? So then me and Ed was talking, and I don't know if y'all remember, it used to be an arcade game back in the 80s called Track and Field.
Yeah.
And you had to compete in all these events. Like, you'd have to do the javelin throw, the shot put, the high jump, the hurdles. You would have to do all these different events. And then eventually you would be, you'd get your medals. You'd gold, bronze, and silver, whatever like that. I don't know if it's like that in real life. I really don't do Olympics outside basketball and now swimming because of Nay. So I don't know if that really is how it works in real life. But, in the game, you had all these events, and then that's how you were thinking. So I thought, what would be the best way to figure out who's the dopest MC, but to have an MC Olympics, to say these are the events that you have to participate in, and then at the end of the day, whoever has the most points or however you freaking like that, boom, you are the dopest MC. So that's what we're going to be chopping up about today. I'm excited because I've got two MCs with Ev and Vegas, who I love and respect greatly. Their pen is sharp, their rhymes are incredible, all those great things. So I'm glad about that. Eddie from the West Coast, what's good, brother? You good?
Hey, what's good, man? Sorry for my lateness. Pardon me, but
it's all good, bro. We old. We married with kids, man. Hey, I just appreciate y'all making the time.
Man, glad to see you, Tone and Vegas and Ev. Damn, I ain't seen y'all in a minute.
Hey, it's a reunion, man. It's like Thanksgiving at 5B, man. Everybody comes through, man. So that's what we're stopping up about today. Now, in my mind, I don't know if y'all ever saw this thing. I think it was called the Rap Game. I used to watch it with Naomi, where Jermaine Dupri had like these pre-teen rappers, and every week they had an event. They had to do something and they got scored and, everything like that. So that's how I'm thinking about it in my mind. So I'm going to set this off. I don't have these in any order except the last one. So the first thing I'm going to start with is stage performance. I think one of the key things of being an MC from going back, I mean, with the Run DMC shirt from the 80s was your performance. The MC was, like DMC said, I'm the mic controller. You know, the origin of an MC going back to the Cool Herc days was, you were supposed to keep the crowd. Nobody really came to the MC to see the MC back in the days. You came to hear Flash spin or Herc spin, and, you know, the MC was there to keep the crowd. And I think the premise of being a dope MC and having a stage performance is kind of lost, but it's one of the things. I was watching this YouTube thing with Hell Rel and JR Ryder and all the Dip associates, and they were talking about how one of the reasons why they felt like the Locks won the battle, one of the many reasons, was because their stage presence, was because they knew how to rock the show. Like you could tell, like Styles would be rapping and Kiss would be right there, or Kiss would be rapping and they're moving across the stage and everything. And Hell Rel was like, yo, just keep it a buck with you. The Dips don't perform well. They get on stage and they just rap. You know what I mean? So I still believe that there has to be some type of stage performance and, you know, to see if you can rock a crowd and see what you could do. Babe, what you got up for your next joint? What will be your first event?
I had something similar, so I'm gonna just go with that. Like a move the crowd competition, but you perform an original song, right? So you basically got to create a song that you can do call and response, maybe, you know what I'm saying, to get the crowd involved. But basically seeing if you can create a record where you can perform in front of an audience. Obviously, there'd be judges, but perform in front of an audience and captivate the crowd, basically. Like, you know, like all the talent shows that's on or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that's an important element, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're trying to do this professionally. You have to have stage presence and performance, because honestly, for one, you make your money on the road anyway, right? That's where you make most of your money. And two, that just kind of gets you, I don't know, if you have a good show, you know, people go and stream your music, buy your music, you know what I'm saying, they impress. Like, how many times you've been to a show and there was an artist or a band that you never heard of and they performed and you like, shit, that was good. Let me find they joints, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's an essential element to do in like a rap Olympics or something like that.
Right. That's a great point, man. I was at a show, actually a show where MOP jacked me for the beat, but Terminology performed. And I had already had the album, but his stage show was so dope. And then he came out and talked to everybody in the audience, because there's only like 20 of us there anyway. But like, he didn't have to do that. He could have went back to the car. And I remember going in my pocket and buying the CD, you know what I mean, just to show support. So just like you said, if you got a dope show and you come off in a good way, you gain fans like that. So I totally agree with that. Let's do this. If anybody else has that on your list, let's go with that first, and then we can kind of just coast off of that. So Rel, did you have anything about like show performances, anything on yours? You muted, bro.
I had live performance on one of mine.
Okay.
And I just think we're talking about complete MCs, you know what I'm saying? And that is a huge aspect of being an MC, is whether you can move the crowd. Like you said before, the MC at one point, that was their job, you know what I'm saying? Move the crowd and hype everybody up for the DJ, you know what I'm saying? And it was so crazy. I hate to bring this up again, but that Locks and Dipset thing, the cohesion and just the stage presence, like you said, was one of the many things that just made it so lopsided, and it was so like evident from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a huge aspect in being an MC. And you know, I harken back to the Vlad interview where they were talking about Biz, and he was, you know what I'm saying, he showed his ignorance because he wasn't giving Biz no props, but Biz one of the best live performers ever, you know what I'm saying? So that's an important aspect of being an MC. So I did have that on my list.
Yeah.
Two crazy things I just thought of. Vag, you brought up a great point with talent shows. We don't have talent shows no more. I've been working with kids for 20 years. I think I've been invited to like 2 talent shows. You know what I'm saying? And most of the talent shows now, they were all dancing. And nobody was rapping or singing or anything like that. But the talent show in our day was your first time on stage. You know what I mean? Like if you were a rapper in the 6th or 7th grade, you like, yo, I'm going to perform at the talent show, you know, and whether you got booed or whatever, like that was you go back to that New Edition story. It's like, yo, there's a talent show, there's a prize on the line. Like, yo, we gonna go perform, and that's where you kind of came up in. And bro, the point you brought up in it, and is just another reason why that Dipset Locks thing was so amazing. Bro, that shit happened 9 days ago, and we still talking about it. Like, that says so much, because in the internet days, you know, if that shit happened last Tuesday, by that Thursday, we're already on to the next thing. Right. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's been a week and change later, and folk are still talking about the Locks and Dipset, just a testament to how important that was for hip hop. Tone, do you have something about stage show, or was that on your list or not?
Yeah, I mean, that was on my list. It's like the brother said, I mean, it's essential. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't rock the crowd, I mean, it's just like imagine KRS in a verse, you know what I'm saying, on a live stage. That takes you to another level. So yeah, you got to be able to perform. But my thing too, is this hypothetical, like several MCs are together doing a rap Olympic field? Is that kind of what we're talking about?
I was looking at it kind of like from the standpoint of, like, let's say if it was the Lupe and the RJ Ransom, like Vay said, Lupe would have to come out and perform. You know what I mean? He'd do his set, and the judges would judge it. Then RJ Payne would have to come out. Like, I'm looking at it like one by one, but please, like, this is what I have y'all here for. If y'all think like, nah, it would probably be better if we did it this way or that way, or like, I've got like an honorable mention part of mine called the cipher. You know what I mean? Because I don't, you know, and I'll hold that. But I mean, if you have a different idea of what you would like to see from a show, like, by all means, please, like, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I would say, you know, do one of your popular songs to move the crowd, and then you have to write an original song as well, you know what I'm saying, and display that new song to the crowd, and see can you rock the crowd with your new joint also, because, you know, to be a dope MC, sometimes you gotta be able to be under pressure, you know what I'm saying, and make people perform and get the job done. So I would say something along those lines.
Right, and that's dope too, because Vay, I don't know if you were at Morgan yet. You may have been when the Fugees and Maxwell and somebody else came, and it was before. Right, and it was before the Fugees were the Fugees, you know what I mean? And they performed and they killed it doing songs nobody in the crowd knew. So Tone, that's a great point of being able to not only rock a crowd with a song that's already popular, but is your stage presence dope enough that you can rock a crowd of people who don't know who you are, never heard your name, and you still are able to rock the crowd. Ev, I know you had your hand up. You were about to say something?
No, you know, I was adding on to the stage performance thing. I actually had an opposing thought, but I want to first say I wholeheartedly agree with stage performance, and that being a very important aspect of trying to determine who's the best and who's not. But my opposing thought is also this: MCing went from the stage to the studio. So right now, a lot of our favorite MCs, I'm sure at least one or two in our top 5. Don't have great stage performance. I.e., Rakim does not have a great stage performance, to me. And I think there's a couple other people that in that category that are amazing spitters, but their stage performance just lacked. And I think that's just a testament to the time when MCing was first started. It was about being on that stage, rocking the crowd with the DJ, keeping the crowd moving and things like that. I think as it transitioned more into the studio, it became more about how your delivery was and a bunch of different other things. Whereas the stage didn't play as pivotal a part. So that's just my opposing thought again. But like I said, I wholeheartedly agree with the stage performance. But at the same point in time, I have to look at the other side of the fence. Like, there's also a lot of MCs who never really had great stage performance. And if I can say, for me, Rakim is in my top 5. And I know I've been to Rakim shows, he just does not perform well. Ever. I don't think Nas performs well. I mean, I think there's a bunch of cats here and there that just don't do it that well. So that's just my opposing thought to throw into the basket right here.
Right. What you got, Ralph?
I agree, and I think that's how the like sliding scale of MCs works. You know what I'm saying? Some some MCs do some things better than others. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how. It's kind of like a sliding scale, you know what I'm saying? Like Rakim doesn't perform well, but his lyricism is here. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of balanced. So I agree. I agree with Ed, man. That's a good point.
And, hold on, Ed, what were you gonna say?
I got something that kind of ties in along with stage performance, which is improvisation. You know what I mean? So an MC can perform the same song at like 3 different shows. Are they going to perform it the exact same way, or are they going to do something a little special depending what city they're in, or what the circumstances are? Or, you know, if they've been on tour for like 2 years, if you go watch them 1 year to the next, it's going to be exact same. It shouldn't. You know what I mean? I think that's what's dope about, you know, like the Roots, or even like someone like KRS. You know, KRS is amazing with his live shows, but improvisation, like, and do you add something that's special? Like, you're not performing the recorded song verbatim, but you're adding something special for the crowd. You know what I mean? Because you could do something extra when you're performing something live that may not necessarily translate to a record unless it's like a live version of the album. You know, so I think that's important as well.
Yeah,
That's a short point. I'm gonna come back to that. Veg, I know you had something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when I was making my list, I wasn't really thinking about like established MCs. I was thinking more so like, you know, unknown. But if it's the Olympics, right, and like Ev said, we're using like somebody, for example, like Rakim. In the Olympics, you got to qualify to even compete in certain things. So
Good point.
Rakim wouldn't qualify for, you know, it'd probably be blasphemous and a riot, right? But at the same time, it's like, yo, you don't qualify for the live performance because your live performance ain't up to snuff. But yeah, I think, like, again, if you're thinking about the Olympics, then you got to think about all of it. Like, you know, who would qualify for these categories we create? You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's one of the reasons. A part of me was thinking about that Jermaine Dupri rap, because this would just be the thing where somebody like Rakim wouldn't chart high here. And he'd be, you know, somebody like KRS would be above Rakim. And now maybe the next week's challenge, Rakim would be better than KRS. So it kind of like go back and forth, like, because no MC is perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't, and I mean, maybe there is. Maybe while we're doing this show, we can kind of put things together and be like, well, you know, boom, this person does have everything. But this would just be the part where Rakim would come in 5th place, you know, and he'd be last on the list. And then maybe next week he comes in first place because it's something else. And Eddie, what you were saying about the improvisation was dope, because I remember my man Mills telling me, like, Little Brother used to do that a lot when they were touring. Like, when they came to Baltimore, they did the whole tell me what you want. Like, when Drew Hill was jumping up and down, like, they came out to tell me, like, because they were in Baltimore, you know, and maybe in Philly, they would have done something else. You know what I mean? Even though it's small, like, even Griselda used to do that. When they would come to DC, they're rocking Redskins stuff, you know, but then when they go to Philly, and it's just something small, you know, it's just like, but yo, I'm in Philly, I'm a rock a Eagles jersey. I'm down south, I'm a rock Atlanta jersey or something like that. So I definitely agree with improvisation. Vern, what you got? Do you have something about the live show?
Yeah, the live show performance. Yeah, 2 things. They would also have to throw away, because now it's all about the theatrics and the pyrotechnics, and, you know, Kanye got a globe spinning and an alien coming out. You know, no, you don't get to do any of that. You gotta give it to us raw. That'll come out right. Yeah. Hey, can you edit that?
I got you.
And also, this is another thing that I hate about live performances, is when it's 3 MCs and 17 other niggas with mics, and it's like, no weed carriers allowed. You know what I mean? And I would like to see it go back to the hardest MCs had dancers. You know, so you know, yeah, give us something to see besides you just stalking the stage. So I don't know how you put that in there, but that's my thought.
Yeah, and I mean,
let me add on to that real quick, just because of what he said. Oh, the presence also got to be good. They got to know how to hold the damn mic. because that's what Dipset was doing. They were cuffing the mic so crazy, they were muffling their lyrics.
Yep.
And Jadakiss and Styles and them were crystal clear. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of your stage presence. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's funny you say that, because I was going to say it's almost like, you know, back in the day, if you looked at R&B shows like a Janet Jackson, you knew you were going to get a new show with every album, that there was going to be new choreography. You knew that there were going to be, you know, she may come out and do Pleasure Principle, but like the new song was If, there was new choreography for that. And one of the things that Hell Relland was saying about the Lox was like, yo, these niggas toured with Diddy in them. Like these niggas have performed in sold out stadiums. You know, I'm sure Diddy put them through the Diddy boot camp of performance. You know what I mean? Like Debbie Allen on Fame. Like these niggas went through the Debbie Allen class of performing, and most MCs, I don't really think they, like kind of F said, going from the stage to the studio. It's kind of like, I don't know if a lot of MCs nowadays put that much time and effort into a stage show. You know, to think about, well, what can I do differently? Like, well, all I can do is walk back and forth across stage, or things like that. Like R&B shows just used to be the shit. You know, Janet, Bobby Brown would get a girl out the audience, grind on it. You know, Janet would bring a dude up, lap dance. Like in R&B, there was always something. But even in our day of the 80s, you know, LL was stepping out the radio. But I feel like what Burns said, even if you take away everything that LL, even if he didn't step out the cassette box, that he was still gonna rock the crowd. You know what I mean? Eddie, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, I want to bounce off of Vegas because you know, it kind of made me think of how, you know, when you have a singer, right? They're gonna perform and they do vocal exercises and they do things to prepare because they want to sound good live, and a lot of MCs just don't care, right? So you got, you know, the diction, enunciation, like even if you rapping in a slang, right? You got to be able to understand what you're saying. Breath control, you know.
Eddie, you taking off my whole list.
Sorry, my bad. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, like take pride in your craft. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nah, I mean, and I think prayerfully that Dipset Lox show will show that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I think Jada posted like them in the huddle before the battle. Like, you know, like we take this shit serious. Like this is a job for us. Like we're not Cameron. She ain't coming late. We ain't coming with no beach chairs. You know, like somebody said this time, Jada wasn't drunk. Niggas was wide awake. They was focused. You know, they came. It's like they came to seek and destroy, and that's what the fuck they did. You know, it's like, yo, we gonna come here, we gonna wreck these niggas, then we gonna bounce back home or whatever. Like, and that was it. KRS, I think, as we were talking about when KRS was saying back in the day, like, yo, I wasn't losing no battle because, nigga, I was sleeping on the train. Nigga, I ain't have a house to go home to. So when we was battling for money, my nigga, I was winning no matter what, because I don't have nothing else. Like, this is all I got. Like, so Tone, what you was about to say?
Yeah, kind of like since you're talking about Olympics, it's like artist development. I was watching the old Motown documentary, and they talking about how they used to go, you know, through the chicken circuit, man. But before that, they practice, they training. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to artist development? Like, you know, Puff had them, all his artists, you know what I'm saying, really practice, really training, bringing in choreographers, everything like that to make sure that stage performance on the bar. And the Lox really just saw what cats was doing in the 90s. We like bugging out over this Lox thing because the Dipset was just that bad. You know what I'm saying? With the Lox team, what they supposed to do? They do the worst thing fucking song, and they just rhymed on stage. It was dope. That's the way it's supposed to be.
But I think it's even doper because we haven't seen it in so long. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's sad, though.
Right. Like, that's the sad part. Like, I mean, from doing the giveaways at the Howard Theater in DC, in the past 2 years before the pandemic, I was in DC every other week at a show, and everybody's show was the same. Like I always said, salute to the Dungeon family. And all the shows I saw for 3.5 years, the Dungeon family gripped it the best. They were the only crew who had a DJ, a live DJ scratching, not just behind the turntables with a MacBook Pro. It was like pressing. No, that Dungeon family had 2 DJs and was scratching. And just the way that they performed as a unit, it would be like, I had never seen anything like this before, where it was like, you know, Goody Mob would come out, do 2 songs, then they would leave. And Big Boy and Sleepy would come out and do 2 songs, then they would leave. Then Witch Doctor would come out. They were like rotating the show. So it wasn't, I'm going in thinking, okay, Goody Mob performing, okay, then they'll get off, and then the next person. So it was just an incredible show. And it's just like, again, the South did that. You know what I mean? So we always talking about New York, Philly, Jersey. Yo, the South did that. How does the South have 2 live DJs scratching and cutting, but all these groups from New York and all these, you know, Griselda rappers and all these other MCs, don't nobody got none of that stuff going. So, in tone, to your point about artist development, we don't have labels no more. So everybody has their own label. So if Ransom has Ransom Records, there's nobody on Ransom Records but Ransom to say, nigga, go before. You know what I mean? So you don't have no departments no more. You know what I mean? So that's the other part. People love to be like, yo, I got my own label. But yeah, if you have your own label, you now have 10 other jobs you need. Because when Gangstar finished their album, they passed it off to the A&R. Then the A&R team did their department. Then the marketing team did their department. You know, it went to, all you had to do was rap and produce, and then your job was done. But now, since everybody wants to be independent, you have other jobs that need to get done. And just because you're a great rapper doesn't mean you're a great marketer. Veg, I'm sure you know from 889, the people we would talk to, it was about building those relationships. It was about people from labels saying, hey, Kill Vegas, we need this song #1 this week, or we need this #1 this week. They were relationship builders. You know, a lot of these rappers aren't relationship builders. They don't know how to talk to people. It's like, play my shit, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in Bay, like, you know, I forgot, Radamez, I think was his name. The picture I got of you and Cannabis when they was at the station, I thought his name was Radamez or something like that. But like, you had these label reps that built this relationship between the label and the radio to be able to play those songs. And meeting those radio reps, they'll tell you in a heartbeat. I mean, everybody thinks they the shit, but they like, yo, this nigga wouldn't be shit without me. Because this nigga has no personal skill. He has no personal skills. He don't know how to talk to people. You know, if it was up to this nigga, nobody would be playing this shit on the radio. But what you gonna say, Vag?
No, I was gonna say you're right, because I mean, I still see it to this day. You don't know how many emails or DMs I get where, you know, niggas is like, yo, I got this artist, you know, DJ Backwards Beard or whatever the fuck. And you know, I want to do an interview on your show, and I'm like, did these niggas even press play on my podcast once to see that I don't do that? Right. But again, like you said, you know, you don't have anybody doing any real research to get the artist placed in places where it will benefit them. Like, sure, you know, if you got a hip hop podcast and they got a following, yeah, you know, put people on the music. But at the same time, yeah, they're missing A&Rs, they're missing artist development, all kinds of shit. So it's kind of sad.
All right, so we got the stage performance, we got the move the crowd competition, improvisation, all those things under the show category. The next thing I got up is, for me, storytelling is important. You've got to write a story rhyme. You've got to write a story rhyme. And it has to be 3 verses. You have to, I've always told people, I missed the third verse. Third verse, if anybody knows anything about writing a paper, that ending paragraph was in conclusion. And that's what the third verse is for me. If you take the third verse away from Nas, I Gave You Power, you're left stuck. Like, what happened to the gun? Take the third verse away from Jay's song cry, like, well, what happened to the relationship? Did y'all stay together? Did y'all break up? The third verse is in conclusion. And everybody knows one of my knocks on Paul is he don't rap about shit with girls. My thing would be, and I used to always say this, that I'm giving an example of what I would like to see. I always said that if you put Outkast and the Roots in the studio and you said, write a song about your baby's mother's mother, Outkast would give you Miss Jackson. You know exactly what they're talking about. The song is a hit. I don't know anybody who wasn't singing Miss Jackson. I feel like the Roots would give you some shit and you may not know what the fuck they talking about. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have a good hook. There wouldn't be there's no singing to it. You know, Malik Beef, God bless the dead, thought gonna be rapping a million miles a minute. I call him the Russell Westbrook of hip hop. That nigga got one speed. Like, you give him the ball and he is gone. Like, that is it. Like, so I just don't think the Roots would be, I'm thinking like, so I'm looking at like that type of competition that we would give these MCs like a story, like write a story about this. And then they'd have to come out at the end and present that rhyme and then present the song or the rhyme or the song or whatever. And then the judges would look at it like, okay, I like that. Like, I remember the story like when Big wrote Niggas Bleed and he said something to Puff, like, how you want me to end it? And Puff was like, oh, well, make it funny. End it with something funny. And then he said that's why they came up with they range got told they double parked by a hydrant, stupid motherfuckers. Like, you know, like something like that where somebody could tell you end it like this and then you can do that, you know. So that's my thing. Veg, what's another category? If you don't have storytelling rhymes, if you do, you can do that. Everybody's gonna get their shine. But Veg, what's one of yours?
Yeah, I got one in that story mode lane. I was thinking like a head-to-head story mode thing where you have two people competing against each other, but you get 2 bars to start the story. It's more of a freestyle thing.
That's dope.
You get 2 bars to start the story, then the other dude has to pick up the story.
Ooh,
and so you have to pay attention to what he's saying, sort of where he's going. At the same time, you got to think about where you're going to take it next. And 2 bars is not long, right? So you can kind of buy yourself some time, right? Like you can say some bullshit like I went to the store, picked up a juice, and nigga said he wanted some more, and hand it back so you could think. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be ill just to watch and see how creative each artist could be, each MC could be, and you can kind of score them on detail and creativity, how quick they are about it, right? Like, are they stolen? Are they wasting bars? You know, just to pass off. But I think that would be ill and difficult to do. So
that's dope. I actually saw something like that on IG, and I forgot to screen record it, but they were doing something like that. Like these MCs would be like something, and then they'd be like the last word they would have to flip it. It'd be like, some bars. And it was like, nah, not bars. I'm talking cars. Like da 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 da.
Like word
talking, like nah, you talking stars, like in the sky. And like I was like, yo, so that's a dope idea. Rel, what about you? Anything in the story mode? And if not,
I had. Excuse me, I had storytelling. Nas my favorite rapper. He's a good storyteller. I think, with the Lupe and Ransom, RJ Payne, that the storytelling aspect, a couple of them MCs would struggle in that aspect to me, because you got like somebody like Payne who's more of a he raps like he's in a battle, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that might not be his strong point. You feel what I'm saying? So I just think, again, it's like, what are you good at? What are you not good at? Like balancing it out. But I think storytelling, you gotta be able to talk about something, man. Talk about something. Make me see what you're talking about. You feel what I'm saying? So I think a lot of the greats have that in their arsenal, you know what I'm saying? Some don't, but I think it's an important trait, an important characteristic to a good MC. So storytelling was actually my number 1.
All right, that's dope. It's funny because Tone kind of goes back to what you were saying about artist development. I remember Royce had a song, and it was on some old crazy song, and it ended up dude was trying to get with a shorty and something happened, she ended up stealing a kidney or some shit like that. It was something crazy. You had no idea that's where it was gonna go. What'd you say?
It was called, I believe, Part of Me.
Yeah, Part of Me. Yep, that's what it was called. And the crazy thing is I'm see, now if I'm A&R in that Slaughterhouse project, I'm telling each one of those MCs to kind of do a song like that, like a Twilight Zone type song. Each person has to do a Part of Me song like that. You know what I mean? Which would break up the monotony. Because to me, that's why Slaughterhouse to me wasn't successful, because you had 4 MCs just out trying to bar each other every time. It literally each MC got 96 bars. Nigga, come on. One of my favorite Slaughterhouse songs, I forgot the name of it, Knots did it, but it's 7 minutes. And it's yo, nigga, 7 minutes. But neither here nor there. Arts development. Tone, anything in the storytelling realm? And if not, what's another one of your joints?
Well, in the same realm, I had writing a concept song. You know what I mean? Because again, that was my favorite MP. So I think about Undying Love, and I gave you Power and Purple and Blue Axe. Give me some creativity, because you're an MC. That means you're a writer as well. So give me stuff. You know, I remember one time with Lil Wayne said, "Well, I freestyle all my stuff." Well, nigga, it sounds like you freestyle all your freestyle. So I want some pens and pads. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, a nice dope concept song in the competition, you know what I'm saying? You can be real creative, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, one from the mind.
And it's funny because some people will ask why do I put so much onus on storytelling? I always tell people when my teens get in my car, I'm never yo, your new rappers are whack. What I do is I'll play them either Nas, I Gave You Power, or Nas's Rewind. and let them pick up on what's happening. There's always like this oh shit moment, like oh shit, he's saying that in reverse, or oh shit, he's a gun. And then I'm always like, now can your favorite MC do that? And they're like, no. You know what I mean? So it's not a place of me saying, yo, these new niggas is whack. I'm gonna let you decide for yourself. But like you said, Tone, I always go to a concept song. I don't go to a, just the world is, whose world is this? The world. I don't go to that now. So I don't just go to the memory lane. I go to those storytelling concept songs, because that's what really helps these kids to see, like, damn, nah, my little whoever you fucking with this month can't do that. You know what I mean? Ed, what about you? Anything in the storytelling realm, or what's another joint you got?
I didn't have storytelling in my joint. And it's interesting, actually, I'm sitting here and I had to kind of I did like a full 360, because at first I was like, well, storytelling is more, that feels like more entertainment, and is that more rapper than MC? But then I thought about it and I was like, well, shoot, everybody that's in my top 5 are excellent storytellers. And that's one of the reasons why I love them. So I had to just kind of double back on that. But I didn't have it as far as one of my categories. One of the things that I did have is a play off of what Eddie was talking about. I think Vern too has it on his list, was breath control. But breath control ties into, for me, it ties into the ability to ride a beat, also the ability to perform. Both of those things are breath control. And it's interesting, Kill, you were talking about Dungeon Family. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a Dungeon Family that had Outkast doing, they had to jog.
They had to jog and spit their rhymes. Yes, sir. They
spit their rhymes while they were jogging. So their breath control can be on point and on par when they're on stage. And you needed that. And this reason, to me, one of the reasons why they sound so good live and in the studio, because their breath control was just, they were trained for that. So for me, breath control kind of plays both hands. It plays a part in the studio when it comes to really being able to ride a beat. Because there's a lot of MCs that are just sloppy. They're all over the place. And then also it plays a part when it comes into live performance. So that was one that I had on my list.
That's dope. I can't remember if it was the live song, but somebody said recently, you got show shape and then you got regular shape. So you could be in shape, you could be physically in the gym, but then are you in show shape? Are you ready to get on this stage and go on this tour and perform every night for 90 minutes? And they're two different things, so that's a great point about Outkast having to do that. And again, that goes back to what Tone said about having somebody who was telling you, Rico and them saying, this is what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do, and everything like that. Great point. Eddie, what you got next, bro?
So as far as storytelling, I would say more like being able to switch up the topics, right? So for example, something you always saying, Kill, is like, all right, Black Thought could only tell a story when it's about a girl. Or someone like a Pusha T, all right, can you tell a story that's not about drugs or selling drugs? You know what I mean? So if this is like an Olympics competition, you got to be able to, all right, someone else is going to choose the topic, and now you got to write and spit a story about that topic that someone else has choose. Get out your comfort zone.
Right. I like that premise, because on the rap game, that would have been something like, say the person who had the most points for that week, they could tell the next rapper what to rap about. You see what I'm saying? And since it's the Olympics, it's on some shit like, if I got the points and I know Thought ain't good at rhyming about nothing but a girl, I could pick what topic he gonna rap about. Yeah, nigga, take that one right there and try to rap about that. So I like that too. Somebody else picking what it is and putting you in that position to get you out your comfort zone. That's dope. Right. That's dope. Vern, what about you?
Yeah, I had concepts when you talk about storytelling, that you get on stage, you don't know what you're gonna well, maybe not on stage, but you got 10 minutes to make a song about XYZ's concept, and it got to be dope. So that's one of the things that I had on the list.
All right, no doubt. That's dope. The third thing I got is, and it's a word that I've invented. I've copywritten it. Tracy Lee will try to sue anyone who tries to use this word without my sample clearance. The word is bartition. That means you just bar people. It's basically Basically, anybody who's ever seen the Black Thought Funkmaster Flex freestyle, and everybody, you go to Flex and you freestyle and everything like that. I call that bartition work. You're going there not to really tell a story. You're going there to bar. You're going there to put in work. I feel like you need that, and I'm not even gonna hold you. It even has to be a quote unquote off the top freestyle, But I feel like I do want to see your bar. You know what I mean? And this may be a place where, again, Thought may not do good in the storytelling well, but we all know that nigga's gonna go to work in this realm over here. He's gonna, I don't think anybody personally will ever do a better freestyle on Flex after Thought. I personally give people credit for going after Thought because that's a huge bar to follow. You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, I want something like that where you just have to go in and you have to put in work and you gotta show niggas what you can do. Just straight go to work. And I feel like that's what people do when they go to Flex. It's like, okay, this is my proving ground. I think Thought even said that. Like, yo, I've been waiting to get up here to kind of prove my work. And the wild part is after he did that, now this nigga's name all over the place. There are people who ain't never heard a Roots album before, but after seeing Black Thought on Funk Flex, his name now is being brought up more and more and more. And it's kind of like, you're like, niggas hit me. And I'm like, nigga, I've been seeing Thought do that for years. Like, that shit wasn't, like, that ain't nothing, but it just showed me how many people just didn't know. And I mean, I could assume if you're just listening to Roots albums, especially post Things Fall Apart, you may not have known how nasty Thought was until then. So I got like that Funk Flex, Bartition, put in work. Babe, what you got next up?
Next up, I got sort of like a creative writing type thing, but and also like you said, like giving them a certain amount of time, right? But they each contestant or whoever MC will get a word, the same word, to create a song based off of. One word, it doesn't matter what the word could be. It could be pineapple. And you have to literally make, 3 verses using the word pineapple as a theme. So you could choose to take the word pineapple and just have a couple of bars that just rhyme with pineapple, right? Like the whole song could be about rhyming, the word pineapple back and back, or you can find some way to add metaphor to it and tell a story or whatever, but it would be one word and you would have to do something with that word. And this was actually something we did when I was a judge at MC battle, and that was freestyle. And there was this one white boy, he did that shit, he killed it too, because we literally just thought of a word and threw it out there, and he was like, with the pineapple on the butt, the crowd was going crazy. I was like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that would be dope because it will show creativity, in their writing. And for all of them having the same word, you can judge what they each did with that word and who did it better, you know what I'm saying? So that would be one event I think would be dope.
No, that would be dope as hell, man. Because I'm just sitting here like, thinking, pineapple's a wild word. What can you do with that? So if you're saying somebody did it on the freestyle, just off the top, like, but again, this is one of those events where somebody may judge high, somebody may score low, or whatever like that. So I definitely like that one word. Rel, what you got up next for yours?
I couldn't really think of an event for this, but it's more so, how competitive are you? Meaning, if someone disses you on a song, what are you gonna do? What, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like LL. If you come at LL, no matter if he's 60, he's coming back at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's battle tested. So just, I don't know how to gauge it in an Olympic format, but
would it just be more like a rap battle, like you two again, like the person who has most points? So not a battle.
A battle, but not no URL shit. Like a battle of songs, like, you know what I'm saying, like The Takeover and Ether. You know what I'm saying, like that. Like if someone disses you on a song, what do you do? Like, how do you come back? How do you handle competition? Because we've seen some MCs are not good at that. You know what I'm saying? And some are strong at that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's my thing. Like I couldn't figure out how to put that in like an Olympic format. You know what I'm saying? I guess if I make a song dissing you, then you make your song. But I don't want it to be like some face-to-face URL rap battle shit. Like not that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But like diss songs. You know what I'm saying?
All right. No. So basically making a diss song.
Yeah, like being a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right. All right. No doubt. Son, what you got up? Oh, I can't hear you, bro. You muted? Nah. I think whenever you fell off and you came back, maybe something changed. Nah. Now you're muted. You're unmuted now, but I can't hear you. Try jumping off and coming back on. All right. Eddie, what about you?
I'm thinking like, and this is another one I'm kind of struggling, like how it will be in a kind of a competitive stage, but song categories, and when I say that, not just like topics, but you know how you got some MCs that are considered party rappers and some considered like, you know, conscious, or some, you know, just bar you, and some are drug, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. how many different categories? Like, I think of someone like LL, you know, who pretty much has shown he could do damn near everything, you know, on the mic, you know what I mean? He could make a song for the ladies, you know, he could make the battle rap songs, you know, he could do all that. So basically, like how many of those categories can you cover? You know,
so you're saying if we had like
how versatile?
We did a show about this. Like, I think Veg and you were on it, where we said there's one night in New York and there's different shows. Which show are you going to? So are you going to the Howard University Incense Burning Roots Most Def to Live show? Or are you going to Dylan, you know, Griselda Pusha T show?
Why you always got no incense when you talk about I Live in Most?
Because I just think of Howard. I just think of Howard in the 90s, bro. Like, I just felt like that was like every conscious MC's like go-to was like, yo, I go to Howard, I got dreads, and I walk around with incense, and I say, peace, brother. You know, I don't say thank you, I say give thanks. You know, like, them niggas got a whole nother way of talking. Be like, one time I went digging with my man Jeff, got dreads in one of his people. Everything was just give thanks, brother. And it's like, again, I'm not shooting shots, but, you know, I'm just like that. Are you going to that Most Def show? Are you going to the Lyrical Miracle show with Elzai and all of them? So
I ain't going to none of them. Like,
I know, man. You said you go wherever the women at. You go
where the women at, that's where I'll be.
Right. So, Eddie, what you're saying is if we have those 5 categories, make a song for each category. Like, where's kind of like what Dipset said, be our song for the ladies. And that's where they fucked up. But, you know, it would be like, well, where's your ladies song? Where's your hood song? And where's your, and do you have the versatility to be able to do that?
Right.
All right. Makes sense. Tone, I got you back? Nah, I still can't hear you. All right. Vern, what you got for yours, brother?
I want to jump on Eddie's for a second and put a subcategory, a get out your comfort zone competition, where, you know, a Griselda or a Pusha T got a rhyme about, you know, I don't know, the girl giving birth to a child or something, you know, and making it dope and making it interesting. And you know, let me see. Trying to think of somebody. A comment. I can't think. Somebody on a more positive tip, doing a song about them whipping up the Pyrex. You know, just get out your comfort zone and see if you can make it dope and make it believable. That's just to piggyback on Eddie's. I don't know what category you put this in, but a wordplay battle where everybody has to make a song, but they can't be obvious as to what the song is about. It can't be blatant. You know, it's got to be wordplay, and for us to figure out what the song is about. And I guess the judges and the audience will be a part of it to, because whoever guesses what the song was truly about gets a medal or something. I don't know.
Hey,
So
Vern,
basically, like
you
how
know
you
what that
have,
remind me of? Like that Fonte song on
Yes.
on their mixtape.
About
Where you thought he was talking about one
Krispy Kreme.
thing, but he was talking
Yes.
about Krispy Kreme. Yeah.
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 Thought he was talking about selling drugs.
no, that's
Look,
dope,
look,
that's
as
dope.
long as it doesn't involve Bahamadia.
What's wrong with Bahamadia?
I can't stand. Not get into it.
All right, I understand. No doubt. We just jump right on over that. What's your joint, man?
I'm playing a little catch up. You said they gotta write a song about a love song about a girl.
Well, it's different things. Bang had it where you get a word. So like the word is pineapple, and you got to do a whole song about pineapple. However you want to freak that, rhyming pineapple with different things. You want to rhyme about how pineapple is healthy for you and how you could juice it and do this with it or whatever like that. Play with that. Eddie was saying you got different categories. So if there's a thug rapper category like Ev, you would have to write a song about selling drugs. You'd have to write a song about for the ladies. You'd have to write a song like about in different categories.
Okay, I'm on the all right, y'all. I'm gonna be the odd man out, and everybody's gonna cover my neck. I don't think I agree with these categories.
Well, which one don't you agree with?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we're saying that in order to participate or to be known as a great MC.
Well, hold on. Let me say this first, bro. Let me say this. And again, this is just the way that I was looking at it. Other people may have different things. And this is actually great to what somebody was talking about today. When I'm thinking about the word MC, and I apologize, we should have started with defining that word, what it means for us. When I'm thinking MC, I'm thinking the all around, you're covering all the game. So it goes back to that game track and field. Like you may not be great in this, but these are all the things that what I believe a great MC should be able to do. So you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily I don't see anything wrong with Ed's category. I think it may be hard for somebody like Most Def to rap about selling crack because I don't know how to sell crack. Like if I'm a rapper, I don't know how to cook coke, so I can't write a rap about how to cook.
Well, I mean, I
so,
think that's
here's the thing. I'll put it like this. Let's say like you got to cover the topic. Like now, how like what's your take on it? How you want to approach it? It's all up to the MC.
So you're telling me that I have
you
to
don't
talk
have to
about
necessarily glorify,
but I don't have to talk about. I don't have to talk about selling it. I can talk about cocaine.
Yeah, you don't have to glorify it.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
if you want to like see,
Talk about the
viewpoint of it, whatever, like put your flip on it. Like
So basically, I can do a Night of Living
yeah.
Bass Heads. I can do Night of Living Bass Heads, and that would be technically covering the cocaine category. Okay, totally understand that.
I think that's kind of the point that I'm drawing to is we're talking about subject matter, and
Right.
that's like saying, okay, you're a painter, you have to paint something that's realism, you have to paint an abstract, you have to be able to paint all these different types of paintings in order to be considered the best painter. But that's not really how painters work. Like you have some painters that can paint realism, you have some painters that can do the abstract, you have some painters that can do landscape. And I think all these things are separate categories or separate topics. But I think if we're just given a bunch of various topics, like, oh, you got to be able to rhyme about this, you got to be able to rhyme about that. I think that's kind of it's in my opinion, it kind of gets in the way of the MC. I think now I'm starting to feel like we're talking more, not rappers, not entertainment. It's not that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I feel like we're getting away from the actual craftsmanship because what we're talking about is a craft, right?
Right. And see, for me, it's kind of like, and I'll give an example. My man used to own an all tune and loop, and he had a master mechanic, and this mechanic could fix anything. You see what I'm saying? So he had a guy who was like, yo, we need brakes done. Yo, send them to James. He got the brakes. You need transmissions done, send them to John. But when I had to get some work done to my car, he's like, yo, I gotta wait for my man who's the master mechanic to come in, who can do everything. Like, so it's the same thing with a basketball player. Like Vince, to me, I like all around players. I want a player who's not just a great handler, somebody who's not a great dunker. Like, to me, to be a GOAT, to be in that GOAT conversation. And again, that's what this started with. This all started with RJ, Payne, and Ransom saying, I'm the best. I'm the best. So if you want to be the best, in my eyes, and this is where other people may differ, as the GOAT, you have to be good in almost damn near everything. Anything was good in all these categories. Not a
knock to that at all. But what I'm saying is, when we're talking about subject matter, you're just talking about brakes. Can you change this type of brake? Can you change that type of brake? Can you change the brakes on the BMW? Brakes. We're just talking. The subject matter is just brakes. So it's like, can you change the brakes on an 89 Lex? And can you change the brakes on a 2021 Benz? Yeah, it's going to be different. It's completely different, but we're still only talking about brakes. So to my thing is, when we talk about subject matter, I mean, you can talk about, you got to be able to rhyme about ants going into an ant farm. It could be so many various kinds of things, but that's only one aspect of it. And I think, to me personally, you can get lost in that rabbit hole of you have to be able to rhyme about this, you got to be able to rhyme about that, you got to be able to rhyme about this, as opposed to talking about the craftsmanship of, various things my bad, go ahead, Eddie.
So to clarify, I want to clarify because, I went back to what I had written. It was really song categories. I actually didn't have subject matter. I know subject matter could be part of categories, but it's kind of like, can you make a party joint? Can you make a song for the ladies? Can you make this a more conscious song? Can you make, it's more song categories, not necessarily like what you're saying, like, but can you make a song in that realm? And my example for that was LL Cool J. He kind of covers the gamut. Like he can make different types of songs for different moods, for different, scenes or whatnot. So that's kind of really where I was going with that.
No, and I don't knock it at all. I'm actually with you. I guess my thought was, if we're talking like track and field, well, you got sprinters, you got the long run, you got the high jump, you got the shit over with the pole. I mean, there's so many different variations when we're comparing this thing to track and field. And if we stay in if you can rhyme about this or if you can rhyme about that, that's cool. That's good, because it does. You have to have some type of imagination to be able to, like, all right, let me flip this like this, let me flip that like that. But I feel like we're still like kind of circling the same point.
I mean, for me, and Veg, I know you had something to go, so why don't you go first?
I was gonna say, it goes back to what I said earlier. If you're the type of artist like a LL that can go from different types of songs, then you would qualify for that event. If you're the type of artist that feels like my strength is this, and this, or this, then you will compete in that specific event. As opposed to this being, round after round for one MC at the top. It's more so like the top MC for the category, for the event. So you wouldn't, if, like, for me, I've never sold drugs or done anything like that, but I've ghostwritten people and I could write it easily because I like to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? But I would qualify for that type of event. But there's some people who wouldn't, because that's just not where they draw their inspiration from. Like, to Ed's point, you know what I'm saying? So they probably wouldn't compete in that particular event. But another event, like Give Me Pineapple, might be more their speed, and that's where they would, compete. So I'm just thinking about Olympics and how that really goes, because you go through trials and everybody doesn't qualify for every single event that has, like, Usain Bolt ain't doing every event that involves track and field. He's only in certain joints, you know what I'm saying? So I think it probably would be the same thing for MCs. It's like, if I'm good at everything, then I'm trying to win the gold in everything. But if I'm good at these three things, like if I'm just great at stage presence, I'm trying to get the gold in that. You know what I'm saying?
And see, for me, looking at it from, like I said, with the Jermaine Dupri rap show, it's like I'm looking for the all-around best mechanic. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna want an MC to be able to talk about different shit, because Push is probably one of the only MCs that I love who talks about the same shit. For anybody else, most times out of 10, I'm gonna diss them because all you can do is talk about this. Because for me, that's important. What's important for me may not be important for, I know what's important to me ain't important for a lot of other people, because people have Black Thought as the greatest rapper of all time. You know what I mean? So that lets me know me and this other person, there's nothing wrong with what they want, but what I want you to be able to talk about different topics. Like, that's important to me. Like, that's what's going to give you, if you're a mechanic and you can do 8 things and Eddie can do 9 things, then I'm giving Eddie the job because he can do more than you can do. He's a better mechanic in my eyes than you are because he can do more than you. Somebody else may say, well, nah, Kill, I'd rather just have a mechanic who is just great at brakes. Like, that's his shit. He can just brake. So again, it's just all about what you would want to hire. Who would you want to hire? You know what I mean? So for me, I'm going to hire the person who can do more versus the person who's a specialist in maybe 1 or 2 things. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you got a car, most all tuning lubes and Tires Plus and all that shit, they don't do transmissions. You have to go to, I think it's Amco, where you have to go to a specific place to get your transmission done. Or if you have a luxury car, I know most people with luxury cars ain't taking a Lexus or they Benz, just the Tires Plus. They taking it to the dealership. You know what I mean? So I definitely see where everybody's coming from. Let's go on to the next joint. The next joint I got is an MC Battle Royal. So this is on some old, if y'all remember Freestyle Fridays on 106 and Park, you know, you got 2 MCs and they got to go 8 Mile battle each other. Think 8 Mile, Rabbit, and the dude. You got to battle this person. I don't know, same thing. Maybe the person who has most points gets a bye in the first round. But if we're talking Mickey Fax, Ransom, RJ Payne, Lupe may have to go up against Royce, you know, in the first round. And then whoever wins that battle by the judges, then, you know, Royce has to go up against Ransom. So I'm looking at an MC battle on some 106 and Park, 8 Mile type shit like that. Bae, what you got up for your next one?
I had MC battle, but you got 1 verse to win.
Okay.
Like you can do the same gauntlet thing, but you got 1 verse to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that verse got to be right for the judges to either vote for you or the next person. So it kind of makes that verse crucial. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, like in battle rap, you can have a weak round start out, but if the next 2 rounds are fire, then you still win. But if you got 1 round, you gotta make it count. So I would
get 1 round.
Right.
And tell me this: do you want it or you don't care? Does it need to be specific? Like with battle rap, I feel like these niggas got to do a damn Wikipedia breakdown on you, or like go to your hood and find out shit about you. Like these niggas be pulling personal shit out. Like, nigga, you owe your baby moms $8,000 child support. Like these niggas do research out here for these things. Or so would you like to see it that way, or would it just be like, look, y'all could just, you know, just like basically Funk Master Flex, just partition, just go, you just barring each other? Would you rather see it where like is it personal or it don't matter?
I think they need to go at each other. I mean, you can go at each other without it being personal.
Right.
But like, you know, like some real hardcore person. But I think it makes it better, especially for the other events I had, because now it's like literally direct competition with this person, and bars and all of that comes into play anyway. Teams, you know, not necessarily just bringing up something, you know, somebody getting snubbed, but if you could find a way to flip that, well, then that'll make it ill. You know what I'm saying? If you can find some lyrical way to flip something that we all know about or saw on the internet, that will make it dope. But yeah, it's more so about mano y mano, the best you got. I mean, to me, I can't really see somebody winning and they're only insulting somebody. It has to be a creative type of way you do it that will make the crowd go crazy, basically. So.
All right, no doubt. Bro, what you got up next?
I got, this is about flow and flowing and catching a beat. And it would be, you know, you give each MC the most difficult, borderline trash beat, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, do something with this. You know what I'm saying? And I remember watching a show, and this made me gain a lot of respect for Ludacris back.
You talking about the Red and Map joint?
Yeah, the Red and Map joint. They played a prank on him, and they was like, yo, we got this song for you. And the beat was, it was like, you can't be serious. It was
they had that nigga ripping it. He was like, you want me to rip it like a frog? They was like, yeah, rip it.
Rip it like a frog. Yo, but by the time he was done, he had like really caught the beat and was like flowing. I was like, damn. So, you know what I'm saying? That made me gain a lot of respect for him, man. Yeah. So I would like, you know, something like that, you know what I mean? You give each MC a very, very difficult beat and be like, yo, do something with this.
Yo, I love that, man. I love that because you got so many MCs who live off the beat. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, what can you do without the beat? And if everybody watching ain't ever seen that episode, go YouTube, man. That shit was crazy. Because like you said, I gained a lot of respect for Luda off of that. Because I was like, yo, this beat was trash. They had this nigga riveting like a frog. It's literally like they had this nigga doing everything. And at the end of the day, he still rode that motherfucking beat.
And he found a flow. He found a pocket. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yo, and they in the studio cracking up like, yo, we just gave this boy the worst beat ever, and he's really going in on this joint. You know what I mean? It also showed me that when there's check involved, I'll do whatever. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, because I've always wondered that with MCs when you do a guest feature. It's like, can you be like, nah, bro, this beat trash. Like, nah. Like, this what we rhyming over? So it also showed me that too. Bro, what was you about to say?
Ludacris is one of the most versatile rappers in the game. I mean, however you feel about him. But also, that category, it reminds me of, if you ever watch Chopped, the cooking show.
Right.
Yeah, how they put some stupid stuff in the basket, and you gotta make it turn out to be something dope. So yeah, that's a good category.
Yeah. All right, no doubt. Tone, you back in effect with us, brother?
You finally hear me?
Yep, you good.
Oh man, okay, cool. Yeah, Real, that's a dope idea. That's a dope concept too, man. But and Ludacris, man, is one of the greats, man, on the low. I mean, I know people look at him like he's real animated and stuff like that, but you forget that he's an MC.
He's nice.
He's always in the pocket, man. Like, dude is very dope, very impressive.
Just the joint he kicked on Conway's last album was crazy. That verse he had on Conway's last album.
Man, I don't know if y'all heard him and T.I. was battling each other, dissing each other, and he came for his neck. Yeah.
And
this was recently? This was
back in the day.
Back in the day, that War of God.
I don't know what it was called, but I remember he came out.
Him on the Made You Look remix.
Yeah.
With him and Jada, he killed it.
Yeah, Ludacris is nice. What were you gonna say, Tom?
I would have something like a freestyle cipher. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, and when I say freestyle, I don't mean bring your written. I'm talking about the old school part of freestyle. Just like, for example, I was on IG the other day and saw Q-Tip. He showed an old phone conversation he had with Biz Marquis, and they literally had a phone conversation freestyling to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the true artist to me can still come off the dome, man. It can be basic. There gotta be no cannabis, scientific astronomy and shit like that. But just like Ludacris is dope at that. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way Big Seagull used to be sometime on rap shit. Like give me some a little freestyle cipher, man. Let's go back to the 80s real quick. So I like to see something like that straight off the dome.
Right, that's dope. Ed, what you got up next, bro?
Up next, I got metaphors versus similes and the strength of both and being able to understand the two. A lot of times, guys be thinking they're spitting metaphors and they talking about similes. I think for MCs, like just to showing the strength that you have in both of those fields.
You know what? Let me ask this. I'll be the ignorant one. Can you explain to me? I understand the metaphors. What's the similes? Because and I want to talk.
If you like, I'm something like or as.
Okay.
Like da 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 as da 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 da. That's 9 times out of 10. That's a simile.
Okay.
Metaphors are more like you don't have to put that. And I don't know the proper English term for that. But you don't have to put that in between because your metaphor is kind of like I can't think of one off the top of the head right now. But your metaphors will be something that's like, like you can see it's more symbolic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So metaphors are more symbolism, and similes are like, I'm as green as this cup.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So the misconception came, man, like you have rappers like with the punchlines, and they would say, like Luda said, more shit out on the street than evicted tenants, or like that. Or like Cassidy would say, I did something like, and they would say that was a metaphor, but that's really a simile. When you use like or as, is a simile. A
I
metaphor
love this
is.
fucking English class up in here. This is why
Yeah,
I do
man.
remedial English.
I was an English major. I was
There
an
you
English
go.
major.
That's why I was
So-
in remedial English.
The English major.
So a metaphor is like it's kind of like it's not symbolism, but kind of like that. Like you're explaining it out, but you don't have to say like or as. You can pick it up by the way I'm explaining it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part where people get it wrong and backwards all the time. They say, "Oh, he's good with metaphors." I'm like, "Dog, that's not a metaphor." You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Y'all preaching out here. Hey, everybody watching this at home, don't act like y'all ain't learning that. Because like Rel said, we get it mixed up. So Ev, so what's the challenge that to
challenge
separate the two?
is not to say it's to separate the two, but to see the strength in both.
Okay.
So there'll be some type of competition where I don't know how many bars they would need, but showing their strength in metaphors and also their strength in symbols,
Okay.
and understanding the difference between the two.
Now let me ask y'all a question, because I was talking to a guy on Twitter today, and I was saying I hate when Jay-Z dumbs down his lyrics. Like I heard the song he's got with Kanye West on Donda, and I'm like, yo, where's the nigga who just was going bar for bar with Jay Electronica? Like, where's that nigga at? Where did this Donda verse? I hate when he does that. And I didn't like the Khalid verse joint, Khaled verse with him and Nas either. But the guy was like, well, Kill, you really can't call that verse trash because he had like a couple of double and triple entendres in there. And I'm like, look, nigga, I'm old. I just go with the eye test. I feel like all that double and triple entendres, that's like how niggas be like, but Kill, he's a 90, 80, 20, 40, 20 guy. And I'm like, nigga, I don't even know what that shit is. Like, I just look at the nigga and say, can he fucking play basketball? I don't care if you're a 90, 80, 60, 20 guy. Like, but for you all, but for a lot of people that matters. Like, does it matter? Like, can a verse not be good if it has double and triple entendres? Like Vegas, for you,
It cannot be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That yes, and that's a good example of it. Be like, because you can have double and triple entendres and the verse still be not good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't entertaining, and you know what I'm saying? Like the double entendre. What if the double entendre wasn't fire like that? It wasn't fly. You know what I'm saying? Like that explanation is a terrible one. You know what I'm saying?
But I think
the verse was whack.
But it's like that's where I feel like we're moving to, just like in basketball. Like I don't hear anybody ever just say anymore, yo, boy, I saw Steve Francis play before he got to Maryland. I was like, yo, that nigga nice. He nice. Yeah. I ain't know his stat line. I ain't seen no. I just seen the boy hoop, and I was like, yo, this nigga coming to Maryland. Yo, Maryland about to be nice. Like you don't hear that anymore. It's about is he an 80-20?
You know what it's like, Kill?
Does he check, or is it a voice? Does he check all the boxes? I feel like that's where we're going with. That's where we're going with hip hop. We get into analytics. Kill, the verse can't be whack because it had double entendres in it.
Yeah, yes, it can.
You know what it is, Kill? You know what it is, Kill? It ain't even about that, because it's like now when you have players who may score and do all the things you're watching, you're like, damn, he's having a great game, and then someone pulls out the stats. Oh man, look at his plus minus. His plus minus.
Yeah, I hate all this stuff.
And advanced analytics say that he's not a good. Like, come on, yo. Like that.
We just gotta get back to the eye test. Like, I take a verse with no entendres if it sound good. Like, I don't.
Hey, Kill.
Exactly.
Here's another way that double on it. It's got to be dope because it had quadruple entendres. You ever seen a dude? Yeah, but these are Balenciaga shoes and Gucci this and that, nigga, but it's ugly. It's whack. It you can name all the name brand stuff you want to, but if it doesn't fit, how many triple entendres did Chuck T have? But
none.
He said a rhyme and we felt it and it hit, and that's so it ain't just all them flips and tricks and all that crap. Can you get the point across and it be dope?
Right. Hey, what do you think about that? Can a verse be dope just because it has double entendres in it?
No, I don't think so. I think everybody said it, right? Like, it has to sound though, right? Because sometimes you don't even catch that shit when you're listening, right? You're just listening to the vibe of the track and how they're fitting. And you may think that's dope, and then on a second or third listen, you catch depth of what they're saying, and then maybe it's even better. Right. But like for my wife, she's in the hip hop, right? She likes Jay-Z since the beginning. But when she hear this nigga saying another beat, the other beat, she like, get that shit out of here. Like, what is he talking about? Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm explaining it, but I feel stupid explaining it. Like, oh, the nigga made a billion, another billion, the Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think there's a certain level. Well, all hip hop, there's a certain level of entertainment you have to have. You just can't be you sometimes. Sometimes it just works. Maybe you're just that good, right? Like Busta or DMX, just sound good and say whatever you want. But it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make it hot just because it's in the rhyme. You know?
And I think the bad thing that it's doing is because the same thing with basketball players. It's making players want to shoot for these numbers because that's what they're concerned about more now. And I feel like that's what younger MCs coming up.
I made the All-Star team, didn't I?
Right.
You know what it is too? How many times have you seen a team have a fast break, but instead of going to the basket, they kick it out for a three-pointer because that's supposed to be the analytical, the better shot or whatever.
Dude,
like,
a team lost a game like that. Denver lost a game like that where it was like they had like a 3-on-1, down 1, and everybody ran to the three-point line.
Yeah, and
they could have had a layup or a dunk. Like,
but the worst part is that the newer MCs are coming up and they're thinking, okay, if I have these if I have these type of stats, then I'll get drafted. You know what I mean? I'll get, a letter from Kentucky, or I'll get into North Carolina, or I'll get into Duke, and then I'll get drafted here if I cover these bases. And they're no longer thinking about just playing the game. They're just focusing on. And can somebody explain to me what the fuck is the 90, 80, 20, 10 shit? What is
90%, well, like 90% from the free throw line. It ain't 90, 80. So it's what is it, real?
It's
50, 40, 90.
40, 90.
Yeah.
50 from the field, 40 from 3-point line, 90 from the free throw line.
Okay. All right. What are you going to say, Tom?
It was like, for example, remember Talib Kweli? I think it was that documentary, the MC or something like that. I can't remember. We were talking about how at one point early on, he was trying to put too many words in his bars or whatever, and it would sound right. He had to learn how to take the words out when the song was close. He did etc. The same kind of thing if you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And going back to the verse about Chuck D, you can go listen to Black Steel and Hour of Chaos, and you can feel that song. It's an amazing song with its basic rhyme.
Yep.
Really rhyming it all.
Right.
And that's why I always felt, Mos Def was always the more natural MC in the group. Mos Def was effortless. Talib always felt like he was trying so hard.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. All right, Eddie, what you got up next for your joint?
My next one was kind of inspired by what Ev was saying, but a personification challenge. So stuff like Nas, I Gave You Power, Tupac, Me and My Girlfriend, Straight Bullet. I mean, obviously all those are related to guns, but it could be whatever, But personification and not necessarily having to tell a story, but having to stay in character. Stay in character, the whole rhyme, the whole song, whatever, and personification. I think that's a skill not many people could do. So I think it is impressive when someone does it well.
All right. All right, and Vern, what you got for your next?
Hold on. For the people that don't know what personification is, that's when you give something not human qualities.
Yo, bro, we got this nigga.
Come on now.
You need that.
The English teacher, man.
I was an English major, man. That's my.
And here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing, because y'all know me. I will tell you if I don't know what something is. Please tell me. You know what I mean? So people watching at home, please don't act like y'all know what everything means. It's okay to have a teachable moment. Everybody doesn't know everything. So that's great. And this is great just because, like you said, bro, so many people are on the timeline talking about metaphors, similes, double entendres, and don't know what none of this shit even means. Like literally are just verbatim saying things because somebody else said something else.
Look, I'm glad you said that, Kill, and Rel, I'm glad you explaining everything because you got some dumbass niggas that follow you online. That's not said it. And sometimes you have to explain things because cats is just randomly talking, and they don't even know the definition of some of the words they using. Like,
I think one of my people said, "Kill, you the most unproblematic follow, but with the most problematic people who follow you." Like, you know, like somebody was like, "Yo, what would you say if I said these were my top 3 Nas albums?" I was like, "I'd say those are your top 3 Nas fucking albums." Like,
right. I mean,
like that's,
man,
those are your picks. But those are the people who be like, they want to fight. They want to fight. They want you to be like, "Oh, you got King Disease 2 up there, nigga. If that's your top 3, nigga, those your top 3." Like, I can't.
I be saying some of the wildest comments that people be saying to you, man. It just be like I saw today somebody said LL and Ice Cube are one-hit wonders.
Wow. Hey man, that's automatic block, man.
Wow. Bro, I mean, my response was, I was like, y'all don't get mad. The nigga 9 months old. What the fuck? You know what I mean? What do a 9-month-old know about it?
Right.
You know, because either you want a conversation or you really don't know anything. But it's just so crazy how these lines get so blurred because I said, and then the guy said, well, LL's acting is better than his MC.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, nah, you're bugging because he's not even that great of an actor. And somebody else jumped in the conversation like, yo, you need LL hosted the Emmys. Like, yo, get off his Johnson. Like, yo, he's doing his thing. And I'm like, nigga, what? Again, it's called Lonely. I explained to everybody that
be fathers to your children, man, so that they don't end up on Twitter standing for strangers and just saying the dumbest of things, man. God,
at the end of the day, Brian, this is what it is. It's high school. New kid comes in, nowhere to sit at the table. He sits at the table, and instead of saying something like, hey guys, my name is Kill, and I like hip hop too. Do you guys have that Fab 5 album that ever came out? I have it. Do you guys want it? Instead of coming to the conversation like that, it's like sit down at the table like, Vegas, you dumb as shit. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. And it's like, nigga, to get the fuck out the table. Like, yo, like, niggas don't even know how to communicate. You know what I mean? They don't even know how to communicate. Like, nigga, if you like one nigga was like, yo, Kill, your opinion is stupid. Nigga, they asked me. And I'm like, don't worry about it, bro. One day somebody will ask you what you think. I promise you. Just stick around Twitter and somebody will ask you. But they asked me, well, it's stupid. Well, okay. And then I'm blocked. Then a nigga like, oh, he a pussy for blocking me. Nigga, you thought my opinions were stupid. What the? Nigga, you can't win for losing. If you don't care about what I blocked you, you're still mad because I blocked you. Like, you can't win for losing.
They really want to be your friend. That's all.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They just want to be your friend.
Everybody's just lonely. I get it. It's a lonely thing. Burn. Did you do yours? Because last thing I wrote down was personification character, which was Eddie.
Can I speak on that?
What you got on that?
On personification, I just thought that was such a great topic because nowadays a lot of MCs can't do that because they don't have the attention span. And I think that's just something. I think it's such a good topic, and I would love to see who can actually pull something like that through because a lot of cats are all over the place. Every 2 bars in a different. So
now tell me this: do you get extra points if you come up with the thing yourself, or is it better if, like Eddie, are you telling them you're a gun?
No, I mean it could be whatever. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who will have a issue with it. You know, regardless what it is, like, and for example, you know, Nas did Fetus, right? Which is weird because Rel said, you know, given human characteristics to something that's not human, technically a fetus is an early human, but it almost is like personification because a human or a fetus is not able to talk or think like that, right? Mm-hmm. So it is kind of in that category. So it could be whatever, man.
Also,
you know, whatever they could come up with.
That fetus thing, I think Pharrell killed that shit on Equinox album.
In vitro?
Yeah,
vitro.
In vitro, yeah.
Pharrell killed that. What's my guy? Oh God, I can't remember his name, man. No Dope on Sundays. Sahad did the same. He had a joint like that too. On No Dope Till Sunday. Just thought of a dope joint like that, Eddie. Like, and everybody, I'm sure, may bite it. They probably won't because it'd be hard. A book, being a book. Like, how does a book feel right now? Like, nigga, don't nobody want you.
Lonely.
You know what I mean? Like, the library, don't nobody pick you up. Like Chris Rock said, you want to hide your money, put it in a book because the nigga ain't looking for the notebook. Like, so, but yeah, I like that one. So, Vern, what you got for number? Huh?
No, go ahead.
This might not be an Olympic. This might be like the Goodwill games. They don't make the Olympic. So y'all tell me how to categorize this, because I just thought about it on the fly. I got two examples. I love what Diggable did with the we be the he, they, them, like a whole song that each spitter did that, or what Common did on the corner. I roll with the rolls windows and roll down. The whole verse he rhymed the same. I mean, other MCs have done it, but when Common did that, O's, rolls, moles, foes, it was real dope to me. So I don't know. That might be the opening ceremony or something like that.
Tell me this, what is that called? Like, is there a name for that? Like Vay, Ev, as MCs, is there a word for, like, is that a style? Like, one of the things that I felt really lost with when I was watching the whole Royce Mickey conversation was they're like, oh, that's it's almost like being like you sitting and watching a karate movie. They're like, oh, that's the Scorpion style. Like, you talking about the crab style. Like, yeah. Is that a style right there where it's like the old roles, like everything Vern is talking about, bro?
That I don't know as far as rapping, but it's called alliteration, where the sound you have the same sound over and over.
This nigga's out here. Let's take the time. Just take the tithes and offerings. Just send them to Rel this week.
And then we'll appreciate you.
Yeah, what's it called, Rel? It's called alliteration. That's like a good example of it is KRS-One's poetry. He did like every writing style, like from an English class in that verse or song, you know what I'm saying? So alliteration is like that sound, the same sound over and over and over and over again. So that's what that is.
So
I don't know what they call it. I don't know what they call it hip hop wise, but I know like.
Hey, Ro, so I'm so fascinated since you know all this stuff, like these kind of different categories of English. So I got one last one. What was it called what Mos Def did on mathematics? What would you call that?
What did he do though? Like what was it? Like doing?
Basically like his whole rhyme had just talking about like adding, had to do with numbers and the way you kind of add and flip it, and you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know how to.
I listen to the song. I can get back to you on that one.
All right, Ray, what were you gonna say?
In the realm of battle rap, they refer to that as schemes. Like how he flipping that, because like when Daylight battled Tay-Rock, he did this ill scheme that was just about the universe and planets, and he started from the Big Bang. He's dissing him, but he started from the Big Bang, and everything he said was associated with planets and astrology, basically. So, and that's considered a scheme in battle rap. What you were saying earlier, and what Rel was saying earlier, is more so in like hip hop terms, and maybe this is just mine, but I always look at that as wordplay, right? To take that same sound and use different words to flip that same sound back to back or whatever. But yeah, I think it's different for a lot of people, because maybe they're in a circle like Royce and all of them. Maybe they have their own names for some of these things. You know what I'm saying? So it could be different for them.
Right. All right. The last one I got, and like I said, if this was like a rap show or Jermaine Dupri, whatever, reality show, my number 5 is Making the Album. 10 songs, 3 verses apiece, no guest features, and each MC gets one producer to work with. So maybe if this is the season finale, that the person who has the most points, you've got these producers on the board: Hit Boy, Derringer, Pete Rock, Primo, Knife, Knots, Alchemist. So whoever got the most points, you get. It's like you at the park. You get the first pick. Who you gonna pick? You know what I mean? So if it's Nas maybe like, yo, give me Hit Boy. Well, who's next then? Okay, well, Lupe, who you want? Yo, give me Pete Rock. You know what I mean? But you've got to make an album with one producer, 10 songs, no interludes, no features, 3 verses on every song. That would be like, for me, this would be the final piece that the judges would judge you on, is okay, you've done all these skills. Now to me, the goal, and again, this may be different goals for different people. Some people are like, yo, an MC has nothing to do with your albums. It just has to do with your mic control and everything we've talked about. For me, your album is very fucking important to me. So to me, that's why this is the final episode for me, that you've got to do an album with one producer. So that would be my last and final event for us to for the people to judge on. F?
Yo, I just want to jump in because I got to run. I got to go be a father, like Vern says, so this bull don't be out here saying dumb shit on people's Twitter. But I just want to throw my last one in. Is in acting, one thing I learned in acting is they say you never start at 10. Because if you start at 10, you got nowhere to go. So bringing that to verse is MCs that can actually energetically take you from start point, from 0, and take you to 10 by the time either the track is done or by the time their 16 is done, whatever the case may be. To me, MCs that have that ability they always stand out to me, because not too many of them actually do that. So I don't know what you would actually call that. I'm calling it just a 0 to 10. I don't know if it's attention span or whatever the case may be, but just being able to like start you at one point energetically, and by the time they're done, they got you at a whole different point energetically. So you
give a quick, I know you gotta go, but can you give like an example of maybe somebody who's done that, or like, is it in a song or
one
MC
mic.
that?
Nah,
One mic.
One mic is one. I would also say, I don't want to say this bull's name, but I gotta say it. I shouldn't even say I don't want to say his name. Eminem did it on 8 Mile. I feel like when the way he started and the way he ended was, he
on the joint lose control or lose yourself.
Yeah, lose yourself. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Lose Yourself was that kind of a track. Like, it starts you at a point, and by the time you get here, it's gonna feel completely different. I don't see it too much often nowadays, but it's always something that stands out for me.
All right, no doubt. Good looking out, good brother.
I appreciate y'all having me on here. I gotta get this young dude to get in the bed soon. Say peace, Coast.
What's up, Coasty?
Peace, y'all.
All right, good looking out, man.
Hey, peace, bro.
Greg, what you got for your last joint?
I had an event where we bring in a DJ. This DJ would DJ for each contestant, and this will be a freestyle thing and an association thing. But it would not only will it display your creativity and your skill, but also your knowledge of hip hop. The DJ would put on, an instrumental. We'll switch up several instrumentals. Not only did you have to rhyme to them, but you had to create on the spot something related to that song, whether it's saying the name or something that we know about the beat, you know what I'm saying, and where it comes from and whose original beat it was. And the DJ maybe it's like 5 songs in the DJ, and you don't know what's coming, but you would have to have a knowledge of hip hop to know the track, and also, freestyle and be able to have the ability to incorporate whatever it is about that beat within your performance, within your rhymes or whatever. So it's more of a like, putting you on the spot and, freestyle, creativity, and, us as, I guess, viewers or whatever, you play sucker MCs, we in the crowd like that sucker MCs. Now we're waiting to see what he does with it, right? He plays the Benjamins, and we all know it's the Benjamins, but what are you going to do with it? What are you going to say? You know what I'm saying? So it kind of keeps the crowd involved, and it also leaves them on their toes, and then the DJ can get funky with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would just be dope to see. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I think that's crazy dope right there. And like you said, it's your knowledge of hip hop, because if you throw on I Ain't No Joke and you don't know it, you know what I'm saying, we gonna know you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I definitely think that's dope. Bro, what you got for your last one?
My last one is imagery. Being able to be using these words, and we can kind of see what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I think we mentioned Pusha a lot. I think the reason why he's able to do that is because when he's talking this drug talk, it's so descriptive. It's like you almost can see, you know what I'm saying, what he's talking about, and that's why that's what keeps it interesting. That he can talk about this same topic, but keep the listener, you know what I'm saying, entertained. And so, like, I don't know how to gauge that in an Olympic format. Maybe, you know, you have a topic and you write about it, but you don't tell the audience what it is, but you're writing about it and they have to guess what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. But just using your words and creating a picture. It don't have to necessarily be a story, but it's a picture. Like y'all mentioned the Chuck D, like some of that stuff, man, I don't know, you can just kind of envision it, you know what I'm saying? It's not intricate, but it's so like powerful, and you can see it, you can see the words, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, word worth 1,000 pictures, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would go with.
So Veg, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback real quick because I was actually talking to somebody about this. It's a song we heard a million times, One Love by Nas. And I think it does what Rel's saying, but it also did what Eddie's saying. When Nas was like, then I rose, wiping the blunt's ash from my clothes and froze only to blow the herb smoke through my nose. When he said that shit, I could see that shit. Like, damn. You could see somebody stand up, the blunt's ashes falling. You know, he about to say something, the herb smoke come out his nose. It's like real visual. So I think there is an art to that where you can paint a picture. It's kind of what I tried to do with Bench to the Turtle. Paint a picture of a scene that people can think and say, damn, I could see that whole thing you just said. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you judge it, right?
Right.
Go to the audience and say, you know, what are you talking about? Well, if it's Pusha T, you'll just be like, cocaine. You'll just win.
Right.
You're talking about cocaine.
But I think the thing is like maybe it could be the judges. It may not be a whole audience, but it may be the judges. Can you visualize that? Like if Eddie's the MC, it's like, all right, Eddie, play your song. And if we're the judges, we close our eyes and it's like, nah, I ain't see shit, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're 100% right, bro. Like, anytime Pusha's talking, it don't even gotta be about cocaine. He had this one line where he said something like, sent my young John on the way to get a bachelor's, sent the other one to get a master's, same graduation, I was clapping in the rafters. And I could see that nigga, like, in the graduation, clapping for both of his girls walking across the stage getting a degree. So it don't even have to be about cocaine. It's just, when Pusha rhymes, yeah, you just visualize literally when that nigga's like, you know, when he said, stash your money in the walls, condo, true story. Like, you see, like, I'm seeing the whole scene of the condos in Atlanta and you put money in the walls. So, like, yeah, that's definitely a dope point. Definitely a dope point. Bro, what you got up for your last one, bro?
This another grasp a little bit, but the slang hurdles. You know, I think of some of the masters of slanguage like Ghost, E40. You know, I don't know how we come up with a competition or whatever, but you know, just who got the dopest slang for 16 or something.
Almost like maybe like come up with another way, because again, this goes back to Pusha, how he's been able to talk about cocaine. So he finds a different way to come up to talk about cocaine. Like one day he said something like, you know, I'm the hood's Obama shoveling McCain. And it's like, this nigga done fucking put the damn politicians into it. Like, you know, he's shoveling McCain. This nigga just don't stop. So maybe it being like, or Mobb Deep with the done language. Like, you come up with something that's yours. You know what I mean? We say, yo, come up with a new name for Coke, and the song got to be about Pepsi or whatever you want to, however you want to. Or what Pusha saying? God, we keep going back to Pusha where he said the hood called something. I called it Diet Coke. I'm like, this motherfucker got niggas getting skinny off the Coke and his Diet Coke. I quit. This dude, How did he do this?
The dude said Uncle Jemima with my braids wrapped. Like, what? So I'm thinking like Aunt Jemima, but he's a dude, so he's uncle with his braids. He's crazy with it, man.
Yeah, he's crazy with it. And this is an example of why Pusha can still be around 20 years later, still talking about the same thing, because he's found 20 different thousand ways to talk about it each time, which is a gift in all itself, by itself. Tone, what you got for your last joint, bro?
I don't know, man. I think something maybe like a Jeopardy, man. Like they gotta do some, it's like knowing the history of the culture, man. Like having a set like 20, 30 questions about the hip hop culture and different events in hip hop. Cause to me, to be a dope professional in anything, you should know the history of that craft. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just coming off the top of my head right now, but I'm just thinking something like, homework, man. Do your homework. Know about the culture. Know about the people who came before you, events and stuff like that, man. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Something like damn near like a game show portion. Like a Jeopardy type portion. I don't know.
Kind of like they do with like beauty contests, right? When they talk to them for a minute, like they try to make donuts, and they just like say whatever.
Yeah, I think that's dope. We just need the questions to be. I'll never forget when I first came to Morgan, my man Chaos was like, so you think you know hip hop? I'm like, yeah, nigga. He was like, what's Grandmaster Flash's address in the Bronx? I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of here. I don't know why. Don't ask me about somebody's goddamn address. Like, I don't know their address. Come on, like, but the members of the Furious Five, that's a good question. Like, ask me something like that. Don't ask me what motherfucker, Cool Works, birthday. Like, nigga, come on, stop. So I definitely think that, especially for a lot of these up and coming MCs, because again, they don't know a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's why literally I'm always like, there's not enough people 45 and over on Twitter, because for most of these people on Twitter, I feel like they really believe hip hop started with Illmatic. Like, that's their starting point for so many of these people on Twitter because of the age group. I think it's obvious, the older you get, the more people on Twitter and social media are gonna be younger. You know what I mean? And as you get older, you have people, like you got people I'm 47 and they're like, nigga, I don't know how you play on that little thing on your phone every day. Like, you know what I mean? What's up?
Hip hop didn't start with Illmatic. It started with a big L, dude. You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. What am I?
Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
It started. You right, bro. It's right. But I think that'd be a great point because it's like, yo, you better be studying like while you writing these rhymes and doing all these competitions. Because again, I guess I fucked it up by saying the Olympics because I keep looking at this like as a rap show. Like while you sitting in the house, like I'm looking at this like making the band almost. So while you in the house with Babs and all of them, nigga, you better be doing some hip hop history on Google. Or while you walking to Brooklyn to get the cheesecake, you better be on your phone, Wikipedia, who's all in the hit squad and everything like that. Eddie, what you got for your last one, bro?
All right, so this one, I got multiple ways we could do it, but it's basically spitting a verse from multiple perspectives, and some examples would be like Elzai did a joint called 216. I think that was on the Lead Poison album. You got I Am God, he had a joint on his last album called Good Die Young, where first verse was a gang member who's trying to get someone back, someone who shot his brother, so he's trying to get him back, and he winds up accidentally shooting a kid. And then the second verse is the kid's perspective. In that one he had the kid rapping, but I Am God wrote that verse anyway, so it's kind of the same thing. And I think Black Milk might have done it too, but basically like, you spit a verse, whether you're telling a story or not, like do it from a different perspective. And then the another flip of that would be spit someone else's verse, but from a completely different perspective. And it gotta match up. Like it can't just be, all right, there's loopholes in here. You know what I mean? But
yeah. Nah, it's funny because as soon as you said that, the first thing it took me to was if y'all remember the movie Strap with Bokeem Woodbine, where Fredro shoots the little girl. So when you said that, that was like the first thing that came to mind. Like one time, the first verse is Fredro walking to the store, then maybe the second verse is the little girl, like, yo, I'm just going to the store to get this. The third verse is Bokeem, like, yo, how the fuck did I end up here? So that's definitely very dope, very dope. And Joe Budden has a song called 3 Sides to a Story, where he does that, which is an incredible song. People sleep on Joe Budden's storytelling skills, but very dope joint. All right, do we have anybody else, any honorable mentions or anything like that? The only honorable mention I had is kind of like what Tone said. I just had a freestyle cipher. This is straight off the top. old school cipher. If it's 10 MCs in the house, all 10 of y'all in the cipher, everybody's coming off the dome, and so I guess similar to the BET cipher, but this all has to be freestyle. If anything sounds written, and you out the cipher.
It's the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games. Yeah. If we catch you, you get electrocuted or something crazy.
Yeah, it's on some old you pick that verse on your mixtape. You out, you lost, gone. Like everything gotta be off top. Vague. Did you have any honorable mentions? Rel, anybody else?
I did.
All right.
I had one.
What you got?
I had a tag team competition. Battle rap already does this, but and sometimes it's kind of dope because but my thought was more so everything with me was more spontaneous type creative stuff, but tag teams, and you can have a time limit, right, where they had to get their bars off, it had to be back and forth, and there's no break in between. It's not like, hold it down, all that dumb shit. Fucking, if you watch battle rap, I'm talking about the smack. But you literally, the other team has to jump in. It's almost like double dutch, but it's tag team and shit. And you're still bar for bar, you're still battling. And this could be a person who you've competed against in other events, but on this particular event, you got to work together to beat these other two guys. And, I guess it's all like tallying points, but that was one idea I had that I think would be dope because it's different and you got to work together with somebody. Kind of like the Locks, right? With Dipset.
Right. No doubt. All right, dope show. I'm just running down everything I wrote down. You got the Move the Crowd competition, the call and response, Improvisate. How the fuck do you say this word?
Improvisation.
Thank you, improvisation. With the Roots and Little Brother, people do stuff like that. You got the head-to-head story mode, 2 bars per MC, and the next person has to keep the story going. Writing the concept song, breath control, the ability to ride the beat. Somebody else picking the concept, 1 word, and you have to make a story off the theme. How competitive are you? Song categories, can you do a party joint, partition joint, get it out of your comfort zone, wordplay battle, the MC battle, 1 verse to do it, flow and catching the beat, giving somebody a borderline trash beat. Vern said like the show chop. You got metaphors versus similes, the personification challenge, the alliteration, KRS-One's poetry, bringing in the DJ, word association, your knowledge of hip hop, imagery, slang hurdles, hip hop Jeopardy, spitting a verse from multiple perspectives, and the tag team competition and the cipher. So we got a lot going on. Tell me this, y'all. I didn't even think about this until we got here. Who would be the 5 MCs who you would want to judge it? Well, no, let me not say that. Who would be the 5 people you would want to judge? Do they have to be MCs? Can a producer be one? Like, who do you, and I know this is just off the top. I haven't even thought about the shit myself. Who would you want to judge this competition? Because the judges are literally probably just as important as the events themselves, because we don't want, we done seen some vague, I'm sure you've seen some fights where the judges have had some crazy scorecards. So you need the judges to be head up. So who are some of the judges that y'all would want to see? Y'all can just throw out names.
Kenny Parker. Kenny Parker is one for sure.
Paris one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He could be a judge, but I'm gonna have the CD on mute. Nigga, annoying.
All right, KRS-One. Anybody else? What y'all got? I definitely want Nas there. I definitely want Nas to be one of the judges.
Dr. Dre for me.
Dr. Dre? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think you should have some of the people you mentioned, like Ludacris and
Luda.
Because their names came up, so it's something they already do.
That's a good point. So Luda.
And Luda personality too.
Yeah.
Luda was a radio host also.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Chris Level, right?
That's where his president comes from as well.
Yep.
You know how to, be on a mic.
Pusha T. I'm gonna say Premier, just because Premier's been in the studio and worked with. I want to say, is he the only producer who's produced for Jay, Big, and Nas?
On the short list, he's not.
Yeah.
Nah, Timberland has.
Oh, Timberland's done.
No, he ain't done no big.
Ain't done nothing big.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think Primo's been with studio with enough heavy hitters that like he'd be able to hold it down. All right, that's a good joint.
I mean, or even if you're gonna go that route, Kill, how about like Young Guru? I feel like
an engineer,
as an engineer, kind
That's
of
a good joint.
bridges the gap between both. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Like you said, engineer, producer, maybe 3 MCs would be the judges. All right, y'all. Now tell me this: who do y'all think? Because this whole thing started with Royce, Mickey Fax, Ransom, RJ Payne, and Lupe. Who do you think could come out of this event? Who do you think out of that crew would win?
Royce.
That's what I would say.
Once Lupe go on stage with the scientific shit, with the move the crowd stuff, fuck out of here with that. Nobody's gonna.
Yeah,
Like now, all the flips and wordplay, he got that.
I think that's a misconception because I actually saw him in concert. He was a lot because I felt the same way. I'm a Lupe fan, but I wouldn't want to see him live. But I actually got to, and it wasn't what I expected. Like he was a lot better than I thought. But I think what Ransom and what RJ Payne will struggle at is some of the storytelling, some of the other things, because they can rap and they rap and they rap and they just keep rapping. You know what I'm saying? I think
rapping and rap. Yep.
Yeah, I think some of the other things they will struggle at. I think it will come down to Royce and Lupe for me, because we know Lupe can tell a story. We know Royce can. We know they can touch on different subjects. We know both of them can be creative. And while I picked Lupe, I understand where Vay's coming from, because I think Royce has the edge and live performance. It'd be between them two, but I'm gonna go with Lupe. I think he's the most creative out of all of them, to me.
All right.
I mean, he made a song about riding a damn
skateboard.
You know what I'm saying? And it was fire. But he had the he say she say song coming from the point of the father and from the point of the son who was left by the father. Like he's got, like, conceptually he's got some shit with him. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be between them two, but I'll pick Lupe.
Yeah, but I'm with Ro. To me, it's definitely between Royce and Lupe. And if I give it to Royce, it's only out of my ignorance of Lupe, not knowing enough of Lupe's stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely see it being them two.
And
who you got?
Y'all stupid for saying that. You're wrong.
That's Twitter, all right.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Royce, man. I think he could do everything that we said Lupe could do. I like Lupe too, but I think Lupe nerves out a little bit too much for me, and kind of alienates the audience in a sense. I think, and that's just my opinion. I think Royce is more everyman type thing, so I think he might be a little bit more relatable.
Yeah. I can see Lupe taking it though, because sometimes I feel like Royce just wants to be a bartician. Like he just wants to prove like he can just bar more than you, and you may just sometimes bar too goddamn much. You know what I mean? And keep it going. Tone, who you got?
Man, I love both of them so much, man. I'll go with Royce though, for like what Vern was saying, the relatability. I think because Lupe is almost too smart for his own good. He's almost too good at rapping. You know what I'm saying? Where he'll lose someone because he can get real detailed in his rhymes, man, and go way. Like on the last album, he was talking about the slaves. He was equating that to like the trees and shit, you know. He just went way deep, man.
Yeah.
I think he's deep and start losing, man. So I'm gonna go with Royce. Not that he's bad, but I think it will resonate good.
All right, Natty, who you got?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like it's going to be close, man. Like, I can't say either one.
And keep in mind, when I'm saying Royce, I'm not like it's a blowout. Like, I'm like,
for sure. Because I could see, I will go with Royce, although I could see, a situation where Lupe could win. Because if you look at all these categories, there's some that I would think, all right, I feel like Lupe has the edge. And then there's other I think that Royce has the edge. So it really depends on the categories. And then there's going to be some where they might be more even, and it may come down to, like you said, preference or whose, presentation is better than the others. And I think that's where I will give Royce the edge. So that's where I think that's why he takes it for me.
And I mean, and keep in mind, I wouldn't be shocked if Lupe won. Let me say that. Right. So it's I wouldn't be shocked about that. One more question before I let y'all go. My guy Watson hit me in Porsche and said Drake has said that Rick Ross is the dopest MC right now. Now, here's the thing. I started responding, and in the middle of my response, I was like, the fuck what? I'm not really mad at that statement. And let me explain that. I want to get everybody's opinion. Again, just like with the show, I'm thinking all around MC. Rick Ross makes great albums. He picks great beats. He has great songs. That's what I'm looking for. He didn't say if Royce would, if Drake would have said, oh, Rick Ross is the greatest bartician right now, oh, fuck no. Not at all. If somebody would say Rick Ross is the greatest freestyler right now, not at all. But for me, I'm like, I'm not really mad at that. And if he's not the top one, then he's definitely top 3. You know what I mean? But Vay, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like Rick Ross is the best? And again, at least come at it from my perspective, the best all-around MC who's going to give you good albums and all of that. Not that he's going to go to Hot 97 and kill it for 15 minutes straight, or he's not going to be in a cypher battle and kill it. Just the all-around goal, because I think that sometimes gets missed. That once you, to me, and this is, I think, sometimes with me and Eb different. Eb, and a lot of people look at the MC as this has nothing to do with the record industry. And maybe it's just for me doing radio all these years and interning at labels. Once you sign that, all the MCs we're talking about have record deals. You know what I mean? And to me, part of my thing with being the dopest MC is going to be your discography. It's going to be records, the records you made. You know what I mean? So I got a friend who says Jay Electronica is the best MC ever. I'm like, nigga, he doesn't really have a record out. But for him, records don't matter. So what do you think, Veg? Just coming at it from my brain standpoint of making records, coming from every day I'm hustling. When I first saw Rick Ross, I had no idea he'd still be around 15, 20 years later. And I think he's gotten much better than every day I'm hustling. Yes. But what do you think, Veg? Are you mad at Drake's statement or?
No, when you explain it like that, I think he has a point, because Rick Ross kind of has a slept on, his consistency is slept on. You know what I'm saying? Because even when he has albums that I'm like, well, this wasn't good to me, it's not really bad. It's just that it wasn't hotter than the other one. You know what I'm saying? And then he comes back and he has an album and he's like, all right, this is more my speed. But I don't think he's ever really, except for like early on where he was different. He was a little different early on. I think once he hit, what's his joint? The rap. What is it?
No, I was saying, I know he had the Maybach music. That's like when I really kind of, my ears.
Yeah.
When I heard Every Day I'm Hustling, I was like, all right, this cool. But what caught me more than anything was the beard. I was like, oh, nigga must be from Philly. Oh, no, he from Miami. So, but once the Maybach music started coming, like, I was like, oh, no, this nigga nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, ever since Deeper Than Rap.
Yeah, Deeper Than Rap.
He's been on a roll. And I could see that, because like you said, he's excellent at picking beats. He's like Pusha T. He literally talks about the same shit all the time, and I don't get tired of it. Look, I made a playlist, right, to celebrate my bag chase recently.
Right.
And so I was coming up with all this lavish shit, right? Like, you know, all that other beat, all that. I threw all that shit on. But then when I played it back, I was like, I got mad Rick Ross shit on here that I didn't even realize that I was selecting, because he just makes a certain and none of it really sounds the same, even though he's giving you the same vibe. So I think I think you're right. I think he's always good for a verse, right? A lot of the features he was on Raekwon's, what was it, the Shaolin joint? I can't remember the name of the album.
That shit he had on that, what's that shit? The Lemon Pepper Wings? On Drake,
Lemon Pepper Wings, like the shit he did with Diddy, like the joint Hard he did with Styles P and Busta Rhymes. Like he's always in the pocket and perfect, and I think Drake has a point with that. It's just that how he words it can turn people to say, "Oh, well, he's not better than Benny, or he's not better than Conway." It's like,
even Drake saying it, period, could turn some off. So
right.
Yeah.
But look, as a comparison, I love Benny the Butcher, but I don't love every project, and I don't feel like every project is good. I feel like some are way better than others. But with Rick Ross, it's like, all right, that wasn't my favorite, but I could go back to it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
He has a point.
Right. What you think, Ralph?
I'm not mad at it. Rick Ross is one of the most consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like for this time, we're not talking about
80s and the 90s.
Yeah, we're not comparing them to people. Yeah, we're talking about now. Like
I mean, Drake's the best rapper right now, so that's how I took it. Just right now.
He's up there to me because I feel like he kind of, I hate saying this, he kind of checks a lot of the boxes. You know what I'm saying? And God, I hate that, but that was the only thing I can come up with.
Royce has made check the boxes. Just don't even say it.
But like Vague was saying, like his projects, like even if it's not your favorite, all of them are like fairly consistent and kind of dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All guest verses are dope. That verse he got on "Devil in a New Dress," Kanye. Like I can't think of any time Rick Ross to me ever came whack. Like
the only person I can think of, the only two people I can think of, in my opinion, like that can compete like with that sentiment to me is like Kendrick and Pusha to me, because they also follow that same thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't never really hear them come whack. Their projects are good. You know what I'm saying? I give Kendrick the slight edge over Ross only because he's a better natural rapper, lyricist than Ross, and he's able to translate that into enjoyable albums, not rapidy rap albums that you don't want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would give him a slight edge, but I'm not mad at Drake for that statement.
Yeah, and that was
Ross
like I said,
a lot more respected than he gets to me.
And that's why I was saying, like, even because I think Watson, and let me just think, I think Watson was sending it to me and Porsche as like, yo, look at this nigga Drake, because we all know how Porsche feels about Drake. And it started off as, Drake bugging, but as I'm typing, I'm like, really not. He's not bugging. Like, and it is not as asinine as it sounds. So even if you don't agree with it, it's not like he just said some bobo, whoever, is the dopest rapper ever. Bro, what about you? You upset with that comment or you good with it?
Not at all. I'm good with it, but I'm going to tell you why. Rick Ross is a professional. And that can't be said for a lot of people out here making music. Rick Ross is, I don't know if y'all know Papa Do's restaurant.
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Down south?
Yeah, mostly. Or what's the other one? Everybody talk about, but they got good food. I don't care. Their menu is like 72 pages, but you're gonna get, man, what's the name of it? I can't think of the restaurant, but consistently, if you're hungry, you're gonna get full. It ain't gonna cost you a whole lot of money. You're gonna be entertained. You're gonna get what you came for, and that can't be said for a lot of people. Is it gonna be Wolfgang Puck? No, but it ain't gonna be Golden Corral either. And so that's something to be said. Like I said, he is a professional, and I appreciate him.
Yeah, you talking about food, to me, he's like Chick-fil-A. Like, I know my Chick-fil-A sandwich is going to taste the same every time versus somewhere else where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be good. Did y'all just put the fries out? Nah, I'm waiting for some new fries, like all that stuff. Tom, what about you?
Look, man, I mean, the dude got like 10 albums and several mixtapes, and he really he really doesn't have too much bad work. I mean, at the end of the day, man, the dude take his craft serious, like Vern said. He's a professional. He don't bullshit with the production. You know what I'm saying? He rolled it out nice. His albums feel like albums. They feel like full projects. And you can tell he took his time with it. And I know he has. I'm looking at his discography. Richer Than I've Ever Been is a new album. He's coming out this year. So Drake probably got a song on that. This is starting the promotion run right now. And Drake and Rick Ross, if you know, they got 6-7 songs that they batting 1,000 together. You know what I'm saying? They probably got no bad album together if they did one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Deeper Than Rap, Teflon Don, God Forgives, Black Mark. I mean, dude don't miss. You know what I'm saying? So it might be him. It would be Kendrick Lamar for me if he just dropped something else, because he's a dynamic MC and a dynamic album maker, a song maker. He's probably the best artist in hip hop right now to me personally. But Rick Ross puts out more music, and I don't know what Top Dog doing right now. It's like the whole camp hiatus for the last couple of years is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So I'm not mad at Drake, man. Rick Ross, he's up there, man.
Yeah, and honestly, a couple artists should go to him to executive produce their album, because he know how to pick a beat. He knows how to put together a complete body of work. And some artists, I mean, should probably get him to executive produce their album, to be honest.
Yeah, the restaurant is the Cheesecake Factory. That's what I was trying to think of.
There you go.
Yeah. Eddie, what you got? What you think?
Yeah, man. I was thinking in my mind, like, who can I compare Rick Ross to? He's kind of like the Eddie Murray of rap. Like, if you ever watch baseball, Eddie Murray was a player who, like, he was never, like, super flashy, right? Like, he wasn't Ken Griffey Jr. or Barry Bonds. But if you look at his career stats, he hit damn near 300 every year. He put up his home runs. He had a Hall of Fame career, got voted into the Hall of Fame. But the reaction I got from all of y'all was like, Eddie Murray, Eddie, like that.
Yeah, I'm like nigga Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murray. But you know what I mean? Like there's other MCs that, you know, I prefer. You know what I mean? Like, but I think as far as mainstream, like, who's been more consistent than Rick Ross, you know? And as far as
even for me, even underground, even if we go underground, like, and again, what I'm always telling people on Twitter is, like, got nothing to do with it. Jordan is my GOAT, and I hated that motherfucker. Like, I was rooting for white ass Utah to beat him. That's how much I hated Jordan. But Mike don't got nothing to do with, you know. So I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general. Like, some people will be like, well, Rick Ross, I don't really like Rick Ross. I'm like, but it's not really about who you like. It's like, you know, I didn't like Kobe, but I'll never sit here and tell you Kobe is not one of the greatest players of all time.
But even with Kendrick, right? Like, if you're gonna say Kendrick right now, like, Kendrick has had a period now where it's like, where's the album? How many years has it been? You know what I mean? And
how long has it been since then? Like 3 years, 4 years?
Too long. Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah, too long. If you gotta ask yourself, when's the last time? Then it's too long.
So I'm not mad at him not getting mentioned as the best right now, because he hasn't put out anything right now. You know, so that part I'm not mad at. Yeah.
I just didn't think it was as crazy as what I think people were making out to be. Like, yo, look at this nigga Drake. And again, maybe Watson didn't mean it like that. Watson, if you didn't mean it like that, I apologize. But I took it like, yo, look at this nigga. He's wild. And I'm like, truth be told, he really isn't. Vay, give him all the information, good brother. Where can they get at you, man?
All right, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, TikTok, all of it, at Vegas World INC. No, I don't do none of those dumbass dances. I'm just on there to promote. Facts. Also, you can check out Me and Kill's EP, Willmatic. It's an EP dedicated to the memory of my cousin, Ill Will, who I was very close with. This is just not family association and all of that. It's literally someone who had a major influence on who I am and who I was and my hip hop history, you know what I'm saying, in the game. But it's an EP dedicated to him, to the memory of him, told by his family, which is very different from someone like Nas, who's his friend, paying homage. You know what I'm saying? And the homie Kill produced it. It's a couple of tracks. It don't take long for you to listen. You can check it out on Bandcamp. You can either support it by paying an amount, or you can download it for free, whatever. As you can see, we have merchandise also, but all proceeds, everything, all the money that came in. Also, I want to thank everybody who paid for the album and bought merchandise. But all of the money didn't go to me and Kill. It went to Ill Will's mom's, my aunt Versi. She don't want for much, but hitting over $200, she was very happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I wanted to do, right? Celebrate her son, you know what I'm saying, our family member, but at the same time say, go get your nails done. Go whatever you want to do with it. Go and do it. Have fun. So it's dope, and I want to thank everybody who supported it. But again, it's on Bandcamp, but you can also buy it on iTunes, or you can stream it on any streaming platform from Apple to Spotify. So check it out, Willmatic.
And that's VegasWorldInc.bandcamp.com. So that's where y'all can go to cop that. Rel, give them all the info, good brother.
Uptown J Ben on Instagram, JBen215 on Twitter.
All right, Vern, where can they go to get it when they ready to move down to Atlanta and get a house, man? How can they get at you?
At Georgia, Alabama, soon to be South and North Carolina, and Florida. At Be the Lone Closer on Instagram.
All right, no doubt. Tone from End of the Dome, let them know where to get at you, good brother.
Tony Haynes the Dome on Twitter, and you'll see the link to intothedome.com and all the other links as well, man. Holler at me.
All right, Eddie, what's good with you? Where can they get at you?
At EddieD80 on Twitter, on Instagram, Freestyles, and freestyles.com, the website.
All right, and y'all already know what it is. Oh, right.
One last thing, I didn't want to hog all the time, but considering the role, I could say, because probably by the time you post this, there'll be a press release. But some people know that I work in radio, and I accepted a position as the chief content officer at WBGO, where I used to work, Jazz Radio. So I'll be going back. So all the podcasts, which you get on radio, on the website, all of that, I'm in charge.
Congrats, boy. Very dope. Very, very, very dope.
Hey, Jay, that's what Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole worked there, but she can't talk to me. She got to talk to my secretary. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Proud of you, bro, man. You deserve it, man. Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. Also, Apartment 5B is sponsored by What's the Scenario podcast. We're talking about Rap Olympics. This right here is a Rap Olympic that me and Rel are the only Philadelphians that have not won yet. We're gonna pick a Saturday because I'm kidnapping niggas and we playing this shit all day until either me and Rel finally win at this shit. But definitely a dope game. Definitely gonna start controversy. Definitely start good conversations. If you enjoyed this conversation tonight about like what's what, again, just giving a quick example. If you look at the cards, you'll have, each person is kind of ranked. So you got LL Cool J. Where's that right there? So you got LL, his flow is a 84, deliveries a 91, his rhymes are 74. Right there we can start with, we're gonna have an argument.
Yeah, we did have an argument.
We did have an argument.
Yeah.
So, the content is 80. I'm like, bro, L has written songs about everything. What do you mean the content is 80?
Right.
Style is 94. Catalog is 85. I'm like, yo, L was making dope albums when I was 10. The nigga was still making I Shot You when I was 19. Like, nigga, so again, you're gonna start a lot of controversy, but again, it's definitely up, to who you're playing with. Because today somebody just said LL was a one-hit wonder, so there you go. So But definitely check this out again at SoWhatGames.com. Use promo code Apartment5B. You'll get free shipping. Like Veg said, Willmatic, very dope EP. Just blessed to be the producer. Veg chose to be able to tell this story. I think that's so important. I don't think there's ever been another person in hip hop like Ill Will, where you were constantly hearing his name, but you don't know anything about him. You just know him and Nas were cool, and he was murdered in the bridge. Even on King's Disease too, you're still hearing Rest in Peace Ill Will, 30 years later, So I believe if you definitely check out this album, you will get a better understanding of who Will was, what he meant to Vegas. And again, all proceeds going to Ill Will's mom. So how can you not support that? So definitely check that out. I will check y'all next week, good people.